Hello again, everyone. It's Justine. This is part 2 of our spring Q&A. Part 1 is linked here in the corner and in the description down below under this video. Now I will just pick up where I left off, okay? Where were we? What do you do if other designers decide what is in style, but you would rather design something else for that season? That's a very interesting question. I think that when all designers come up with the same thing, the same looks, it's because they've all been following the same trend reports. There are just a couple of international trend agencies that have the authority on that matter. And I feel that when people want to be safe and don't know what to design or missing inspiration, they would go with those trend reports. I prefer to go with a concept that has been on my mind and that matured over time rather than following that. So I'm still influenced by things that I've seen around me, what happens around me. I'm not outside of this world. So trends are, I guess, part of the influences, but they're only one source of inspiration for me among many others, many more. So my process is probably a mix of a bit of everything, but the concept has the central position in what I do. What is your favorite movie or book? I'm going to take the movie because books, unable to tell you just one. Favorite movie, Frida, about the life of the painter Frida Kahlo, and the actress playing that is Salma Hayek. Great movie. It's a mix of filming, so photos, pictures, and her paintings that come alive. It's very creative and I love the way they executed it. Also a very interesting life story. Bonjour Justine. Hello. I was wondering if you plan on coming out with extended sizing on your clothing line. Short answer, yes. But I included this question because I want to explain how it works when you work in apparel production. It's not like many of you think, I think. So here it goes. When you start a label, you have to order all the fabric and pay it ahead, and it's 7 or 8 weeks. So you cash out all that money and it's not going to come back in for a while. Then you go into production. For each color and each size of one item, one garment, one design, you have to reach a minimum production quantity, minimum order quantity, also called MOQ in the industry. Otherwise, no one wants to produce your clothes. So when you start out, you have to pay all the fabric up front, all the production up front, and you have to reach the MOQ in each size. Imagine the budget. So I started on my collection with 4 sizes from XS to L, XL, S, M, L. For the next one, I plan on adding 2 sizes up, 2 bigger sizes, but I still have to reach the MOQ in each one. So it's not that I don't want to have bigger sizes, it's mainly a matter of cash and cash flow. It's the problem that all starting designers have, and they can only really grow the size range over time. So bear with me, the next collection will have more sizes. Next question, your videos are perfect. Thank you. Are you this good at anything you start in life? That's a very interesting question. Do you think that I was always good in making videos? Why don't you check the first 5 on my channel? They're still there. Don't watch too long, it's super cringy. I want to say no, but it's practice. Not many people are perfect at what they do when they start doing it. It's really rare, in fact. It's just that they kept going and practicing for longer. My first interview when I was finishing my business studies was so bad, I sucked so much that I was still wondering why they didn't call me back. I didn't even understand how bad I was during that interview. Then the next one, I realized that this and this was wrong in the first one. And then I did 100 more interviews. And at one point I knew what people want to hear. And that's how I started to actually get the jobs. But after so many interviews, same in design, my first designs were a catastrophe. I wouldn't show them things that I did in fashion school. Wow, they're great in their box. They're staying there. Videos, same thing. But if you don't start, you'll never get better. And that's what I want to say here. That's the main message, I guess. If you start, you will improve. If you don't start, you will never know. Macron's state visit and White House dinner last week. Which first lady had the best day and evening fashions? Brigitte or Melania? I love the question. Actually, I've been looking at the outfits. It's very interesting. They have very, very similar visions of what appropriate first lady styling should be, and they dressed in very similar ways. During the day, they both had above the knee length, so appropriate but modern. Then they had covered shoulders, both of them, one with a cape, one with a jacket, but same overall silhouette. Then exactly the same neckline, crew neck, no cleavage, because that would be cheap, not state appropriate, similar visions. And the only thing is they both had solid colors, but Brigitte had a color and not black. So I would say slight bonus point for Brigitte on that one. In the evening, they again went for very similar styles, floor-length dresses, very long and lean to match their super fit silhouettes, both of them. Patterns, texture, not too many colors. In the case of Melania, it was just sequins. In the case of Brigitte, it's actually a kind of jacquard textured dress, but very similar. I just say, again, little bonus point for Brigitte for the updo and in the hair. But both did a brilliant job in terms of styling the whole state visit. I see the point of a capsule wardrobe and of trying to reduce. But how do you reconcile this with your love of fashion? By seeing new adorable items every season, aren't you seduced to buy them though you don't need them? If you aren't, how do you know you will like it in 5 years from now? Very good question. It's about which pieces to invest on and which not to invest on. Since I studied design, I've become picky, like crazy difficult. And I shop way less than before, actually. Because when I turn the garment over, I see the hem is messy, the seams are not well finished, the fabric is cheap, the patterns are not matching. I see everything that's off, everything where they saved money. It makes it very hard to find clothes. So instead of going for new trends and being seduced by new garments, I tend to always be attracted to pieces that don't look special. If you see a dress that I bought recently, you would say, well, that's just a classic, well-cut, high-quality dress, and that's exactly the thing. Those are pieces that are not trendy, so they will still be fine to wear in 5 years. I have to force myself, on the contrary, to go with patterns and with things that I know will go out of fashion. So I have more and more classic pieces and less trendy items, but I wear more of my clothes more often. What has encouraged you to move abroad, and where else could you imagine yourself living? So I've so far lived in France, Canada a little bit, Japan a little bit, Chile, US and Germany. 7 countries. I've always understood that languages would allow me to travel later and to see and learn about more cultures, which is something I've always been attracted to. So I paid attention in my language classes. English for me was an absolute must. I think it's necessary for anything. For many jobs, it allows you to travel pretty much anywhere. Then I thought German is also a good language for Europe, for business within the EU. So I wanted to learn that one. And then I added Spanish also for travel reasons, mainly because I love the South American culture and I wanted to go there. I learned Spanish and worked a little bit in Chile. I think South America is definitely a region of the world where I would love to live again or longer. A sunny place, definitely. Hi Justine, hi. I'm in the US. Yoga pants and other forms of athleisure wear are being worn on a daily basis. Do you foresee this style changing over the next few seasons? I'd say no, but it's okay. So if you're talking about sweatpants and a hoodie, that's very basic athleisure. That's closer to pyjama, which is fine if you like that. But I think it gets more interesting when you start looking into performance fabrics, technical fabrics, into textures, how to optimize the seams. There are plenty of ways to make and construct yoga pants. There's the basic way that we have now, but there are also all the options that are better performing and that are life improving and that are coming up. So I think we'll see interesting evolutions in terms of fabrics mainly in the coming seasons, and it's gonna make athleisure a lot more interesting and offer many more options for consumers. That's it for now. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. I will link for you my previous Q&As here and in the description down below, so look somewhere there. The next one will be this summer, once per season. So if your question wasn't selected today, there will definitely be other opportunities in the future. Until then, see you in the next video and take care. Bye.